The world often talks about rising temperatures, but in December 2025, Northern Europe was hit by a cold so intense it stunned even seasoned meteorologists. Scandinavia and the Baltic region were paralyzed by a freeze not seen in generations. News channels swapped heatwave headlines for images of frozen harbors and cities buried in snow. This wasn't just another winter, it was a force that halted modern life. The Baltic Sea froze rapidly, disrupting trade and daily routines. Streets fell silent, the usual city hum replaced by the crunch of boots on snow. People bundled up, braving the elements as the cold tested infrastructure and community resilience. The world watched, captivated, as the region faced questions about the causes and consequences of such an extreme event. The Great Freeze of December 2025 became a global headline, a stark reminder of nature's unpredictable power. The numbers told the story. Temperature records across Northern Europe weren't just broken, they were obliterated. Meteorologists watched in disbelief as readings plummeted far below what anyone had anticipated, rewriting the record books almost daily. In northern Sweden, the mercury plunged below -40°C, cold enough to freeze skin in minutes. Locals, used to harsh winters, found themselves facing conditions that tested even their resilience, as frostbite warnings became a part of daily life. Even southern cities like Copenhagen and Oslo saw temperatures not recorded in decades, hovering near -20 for days. Streets emptied as people stayed indoors, and public transport struggled to keep running in the relentless cold. What made this cold spell unique was its persistence. The chill didn't let up. Day after day, the cold held its grip, with no sign of relief, turning daily routines into endurance tests. The ground froze deep, pipes burst, and the air was so dry that clear skies only intensified the frost. Even the sun, when it appeared, offered little warmth, and the landscape sparkled with ice crystals. The Baltic Sea iced over weeks ahead of schedule, shutting down harbors and stranding ships. Trade routes were disrupted, and communities along the coast faced new challenges as the ice thickened. For many, it was the first time experiencing a winter their grandparents only described in stories. Generations gathered to share memories, comparing the present to legendary winters of the past. The relentless cold became a living lesson in the true meaning of winter in the north. Every trip outside was a reminder of nature's power, and communities pulled together to help one another. Media reports of new records each day made the historic nature of the event impossible to ignore. Social media buzzed with photos and stories as people documented their experiences and shared survival tips. The abstract world of weather statistics became a harsh daily reality for millions. For many, this winter would be remembered not just for its numbers, but for the way it changed daily life across the region. The Baltic Sea, usually a bustling artery of trade and life, connecting nations and cultures across Northern Europe, became a frozen expanse almost overnight, its familiar waves stilled beneath a thick, unyielding sheet of ice. Ice spread rapidly south from the Bay of Bothnia, trapping coastal towns in silence and closing ports that once thrived with activity. Satellite images revealed the most extensive December ice cover in over half a century, a sight not seen by even the oldest sailors. Icebreakers struggled to keep vital shipping lanes open, with convoys of ships waiting days, sometimes weeks, for a safe passage through the frozen maze. Economically, the freeze was a major disruption, halting global supply chains, stalling exports and imports, and isolating entire communities from the outside world. Ecologically, the early ice cover reshaped the marine ecosystem, good for some species like the Baltic ringed seal, which found new breeding grounds on the ice, but risky for fish trapped in oxygen-starved bays, struggling to survive beneath the frozen surface. The ice reflected sunlight, reinforcing the cold, locking winter in place, and making the chill even more relentless. The Baltic, once a climate moderator that softened winters, now became an agent of the freeze, amplifying the harshness of the season. The region's fate was now tied to the icy grip of the sea, with daily life and livelihoods hanging in the balance. The full impact on the ecosystem, from plankton to predators, would only become clear in the months ahead as nature adapted to this new reality. The sea's transformation was both a spectacle of nature's power and a warning of how quickly the familiar can change. Nature had rewritten the rules overnight, leaving the world to watch and wonder what would come next. Scandinavian cities are built for winter, but December 2025 pushed them to their absolute limits. The cold was relentless, with temperatures dropping lower than anyone had seen in decades, blanketing entire cities in thick, unyielding snow and ice. Energy demand soared as people cranked up the heat, straining power grids and prompting urgent government appeals to conserve electricity. Rolling blackouts became a real threat, and many residents bundled up indoors, relying on extra blankets and candles to stay warm. Commuting became a daily challenge. Car batteries died, diesel fuel gelled, and public transport slowed to a crawl. Streets were often impassable, and many people found themselves stranded or forced to walk long distances through the biting wind. Many businesses and schools closed, and city centers grew eerily quiet. Playgrounds and parks, usually full of life, stood empty under a heavy layer of snow as people stayed home to avoid the dangerous cold. Bursting water pipes became a daily crisis, with emergency plumbers working non-stop to repair damage. Frozen infrastructure led to water shortages in some neighborhoods, adding to the stress of daily life. Municipal workers fought to keep roads safe and infrastructure intact, braving the elements to clear snow, spread salt, and repair what the cold had broken. Their efforts kept cities moving, even if only at a crawl. Yet, the freeze also brought out the best in communities. Neighbors checked on each other, shared survival tips, and found warmth in the few open cafes. People organized to shovel sidewalks and deliver supplies to those who couldn't leave their homes. The city's usual rush faded, replaced by a serene, snow-dusted stillness. Early mornings revealed a quiet beauty, with soft light glinting off untouched snow and empty streets. The cold exposed vulnerabilities, but also revealed resilience. Families huddled together for warmth, while volunteers braved the cold to check on the elderly and deliver food or medicine. The event was a stress test for urban life, highlighting both strengths and weaknesses. It showed how quickly routines could change and how adaptable people could be in the face of adversity. Amid hardship, a sense of solidarity grew. Community kitchens served hot meals, and strangers became friends as they shared resources and encouragement. Even in the harshest conditions, people adapted and found moments of beauty. Children played in the snow, couples walked hand in hand, and the city sparkled with icy patterns on every window. The winter forced everyone to see their world differently, reminding them of both the fragility and the strength of urban life in the face of nature's extremes. While people sheltered indoors, wildlife faced a brutal test of survival. Deep snow made it hard for moose and deer to find food, pushing them closer to towns in search of scraps. Small birds depended on human-provided feeders, while waterfowl crowded into rare patches of open water. Predators like foxes and lynx struggled to hunt through dense snow, their survival rates dropping. Yet some species thrived. Snowy owls, adapted to Arctic extremes, hunted with ease. The Baltic ringed seal benefited from early ice, using it as a safe haven for pups. But the freeze also threatened the food web. If fish under the ice suffered, so would the seals. The event revealed both the resilience and fragility of northern ecosystems. Nature's balance was upended, with cascading effects through the food chain. The freeze was a real-time lesson in adaptation and vulnerability. Survival depended on both instinct and luck. The landscape was transformed, and so were the creatures within it. Tracking the Great Freeze required a network of ground stations and satellites. Automated weather stations across the region recorded temperatures, wind, and pressure in real time. Satellites provided a broader view, mapping the spread and thickness of sea ice and monitoring atmospheric changes. Computer models, fed with this data, helped forecasters predict the cold's evolution and issue timely warnings. Scientists also looked to the past, using ice cores and tree rings to compare this freeze to historical events. The combination of real-time monitoring and historical analysis gave a full picture of the event. The data collected will inform future forecasts and climate research. Each extreme event sharpens our understanding of the planet's changing systems. The Great Freeze became a case study in the power and limits of modern science. The root cause of the freeze was a disruption in the polar vortex, a swirling mass of cold air over the Arctic. Normally contained by the jet stream, the vortex was destabilized by sudden stratospheric warming. This allowed a lobe of frigid Siberian air to surge westward, barreling into northern Europe. Meteorologists dubbed it the Siberian Express, a direct blast of deep, dry cold. A blocking high-pressure system over the Atlantic trapped the cold in place, preventing warmer air from moving in. For weeks, the region was locked in an atmospheric traffic jam. The result? Relentless, record-breaking cold. It was a perfect storm of meteorological forces. The event showed how distant atmospheric shifts can have dramatic local impacts. How can a record freeze happen on a warming planet? The answer lies in the difference between weather and climate. A single cold snap doesn't disprove global warming. It's part of a bigger, more complex picture. As the Arctic warms faster than the rest of the world, the jet stream weakens and becomes wavier. This makes it easier for polar air to escape south, causing extreme cold spells like December 2025. The same instability can also lead to prolonged heat waves and droughts. Paradoxically, a warming world may bring more weather extremes, both hot and cold. The Great Freeze is not evidence against climate change, but a symptom of a destabilizing system. Old weather patterns are shifting, and surprises are becoming more common. The lesson: expect the unexpected in a changing climate. We must prepare for a future of greater extremes. The Great Freeze of December 2025 left lasting lessons. It humbled us, showing that even advanced societies are vulnerable to nature's power. The crisis revealed the importance of resilient infrastructure and community solidarity. Scientists gained invaluable data, improving our understanding of extreme weather and climate links. The event underscored that climate change is not just about warming, but about unpredictability and disruption. We must adapt, invest in resilience, and heed the warnings from science. The winter's icy grip was a wake-up call, a reminder to expect the unexpected. Our future depends on how well we learn from these moments.